Well, what do you know? What do you know, YouTube? I'll tell y'all what I know. I want to say thank you to Chris. I don't know Chris. Chris don't know me. He may or may not see this. If he does, I just want him to know. Thank you, Chris. Now I'll tell y'all why I'm saying thanks to Chris. Chris is another driver for Schneider that went above and beyond to make sure that I didn't get hurt. So I'll tell y'all a little scenario and then I'll tell you what he did here. So the load I'm on is what Schneider calls a relay load. When I was with Prime, they called it a repower. So basically what happens is, for those of y'all that don't know, a driver picks the load up from the shipper and then they take it to either a drop yard or a terminal, and then another driver, I myself, picks that load up and takes it the rest of the way to the receiver. So when this happens, there's no communication between the drivers. I mean, it's very rare that you see each other, you know, unless you hit the terminal at the exact same time or whatever. But so what happens is when I showed up, or what happened was, I showed up, I pull onto the yard, I already know what my trailer number is that I'm looking for. I don't have to go check with somebody or anything like that. I find my trailer, I back up to it, I hook up to it. I hook my airlines up, dolly my landing gear up, doing my little walk around, knocking some tires, come around to the back, I'm checking my lights. And I noticed that the trailer has a Schneider seal on it. It don't have a seal from a customer. It has a Schneider seal on it, which is very unusual. Very rarely do we ever use our seals. So I thought that was kind of weird. I didn't think nothing about it though, really. Go around, knock my other tires, come back up, and I open up the little compartment that the paperwork that we keep our paperwork in whenever we're doing these little relay loads. They're not in an office or anything like that. We leave them in there's a little box on the front of the trailer that we put them in. I open the box up to see the paperwork with a scale ticket and a note. This note reads, "Be careful when you open trailer door. Pallet had tilted on door." So this is why I'm very thankful for Chris doing what he did. It also says at the bottom, it says, "I put the seal there, was no seal from the company." So Chris basically put a seal on the door so that I wouldn't open that door to look at the load before knowing all this. So he basically kept me from opening a door and having a load possibly shift, and fall out on me. So by him putting that seal there was no way for me to open the door. I wasn't going to break the seal, until I read the note, So he could have put the note in there and just left it alone, but that wouldn't have stopped me from opening the door while I was doing my pre-trip. I still would have opened the door before I read the paperwork. So that's the first thing he did. He put the seal on there. Then he left me a note saying why he put the seal on there. I can't say how much I appreciate that. I mean, he could have possibly saved me from getting hurt, possibly saved me from having a load shift and fall out the back while I was at a terminal instead of at the customer, So I am greatly appreciative of that. Third thing he did, all right? So this paperwork, the bill of lading, there is no weight on it. It's just a basic generic handwritten bill of lading, basically. I don't know what the load weighs. I mean, when they post it on the load board, there's a weight on there, but we don't know how accurate that is until we get our bill of lading. So he's got a scale ticket also. He scaled this load so that way I know that my trailer is not overweight, and most all of our trucks are basically the same, so I know, the weight on the truck is okay. So he could have scaled it and got legal, but that's his scale ticket. He could have just kept it. I mean, he didn't have to put it in there, he could have forced me to have to go, you know, because that's the next thing I would have done. I would have took it and put it on a scale to make sure that I wasn't, you know, running illegal, because I didn't know what it weighed. So anyway, did 3 things. He went above and beyond, and in my opinion, that tells me a lot about what kind of driver he is, and I think we need more drivers like that out here. So thank you, Chris. I can't say it enough. You didn't have to do any of that, you know, but because you did, you made my job a lot easier today, and well, yesterday actually, and now I'm aware of the situation when I go to open the door, so you know I can make sure that if I feel it's fixing to give, I can get the heck out of the way. So anyway, on past that, I've rambled about that enough. Let's get to today's load numbers. So the last place we unloaded was Toledo, Ohio. And from there, I deadheaded to Obitz, Ohio, I think is how you pronounce it, which is on the south side of Columbus. So I had 161 miles of deadhead. And I picked that load up there, and it's going to Lindsay, Oklahoma. And that's 984 miles loaded. So this load worked out really well for me. I will say that. It runs me right through the house. I will get home this evening. I will get to do a 34-hour reset at the house and then get up Monday morning and deliver it. Also, while I was off for Thanksgiving, I ordered a pre-pass for the truck, and it showed up this week, so I'll be able to pick it up while I'm there also. So with that being said, 161 miles of deadhead, 984 miles loaded, brings me to 1,145 miles. The load paid $1,655.09. That puts my rate per mile on this load at $1.45 a mile. So, left the house on Monday. I'll drop this load Monday morning. So from Monday to Monday, I will have ran 3,206 miles, and my total revenue on that was $5,247.82, which brought my weekly average rate per mile to $1.64 a mile. So that average works for me. I mean, you always wish it was better. I mean, I don't think anybody out here is running thinking, man, I sure wish I could make less money. But I wish it was a little better. But it's not a bad rate. It works for me, and it covers everything I need to cover. So, and I got to go home, do a 34-hour reset at the house. Came off of 9 days at home, ran 6 days, and right back at home again. So it is possible to be home every weekend. You just kind of got to learn the customer base, and that's what I'm new. I don't know Schneider's customer base. So I knew primes. I knew how to maneuver around. I knew where all the customers was at. Schneider's got customers all over. The key is finding which customers ship freight what direction, and which ones ship freight in what direction that pay decent. So I'm still learning, still trying to figure out how to maneuver around, and yeah, so that's it on this load. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, give me a follow, and like always, keep tires down, keep shiny side up. Y'all keep it safe, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.